When you are dating a man or with a man, not because you care about him, not because you love him, but simply because of the lifestyle he can provide for you, your heart isn't in it, your head isn't in it, you are a prostitute.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about this interesting story from this woman who is going to be calling out these fake feminine coaches. Okay, these coaches that are pretty much teaching other women on how to manipulate men, okay, how to extract resources, how to really finesse men out of money, okay, over sexualize yourself so that you can get what you want. Now, this lady in the video is going to be talking about her experience as she used to follow the sprinkle lady, who pretty much was making her feel bitter, okay, was leaving a disdain on her in regards to men. Okay, she wasn't really having healthy ideologies towards men, and she's going to be talking about how she kind of moved away from that toxic ideology and she shifted into a more positive experience when it comes to men. Take a look.
This revelation I'm about to drop is so deep, and I might make a full video, but please listen to this with an open mind because it's going to set some of you free. We as women are being groomed by many of these content creators to be prostitutes. Let me explain. I used to listen to a lot of this like hypergamy, femininity content online, okay? The sprinkle lady, I knew about her like way before she blew up on TikTok, all right? I was there. I used to listen to her consistently. People like her, I would listen to, okay, she'd talk about the dusties and hypergamy and the kind of men you should be chasing. I used to listen to all of that before I got saved. Now listen, that content was making me so bitter and angry at men. And I had never hated men really like that before.
You see, and that's the thing with a lot of these quote unquote female dating coaches, okay? They don't really teach women how to be wives. They don't teach them how to get married, not over sexualize yourself. A lot of them are teaching women pretty much how to manipulate men, okay? How to extract resources from a man, how to get a hot meal from a man, Birkin bags and all this other crap. So, you know, good for her for kind of identifying what was happening and kind of taking some accountability. It seems like she was able to kind of escape that ideology, but let's keep going.
I have had negative experiences with men, but I've never hated or like disliked or been embittered towards men the way that I was in that season. And the reason I became so bitter is because I was taking on their bitterness. Bitterness is contagious, okay? The Bible says that bitterness, when it takes root, actually defiles many people. So let me read you. See to it that no one falls short of the grace of God and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. Bitterness is contagious. When you are consistently listening to somebody who hates men or who's constantly calling men dusties, dehumanizing men, you will eventually pick up and take on that mindset. Now, this is why it's important. When you become bitter towards men, when you become desensitized towards the fact that they are human beings and you start to hate them, this is when you start to really listen to the women that tell you to only use men for their money, to, you know, take him for everything he's worth, to not care about love, to not care about any of the things that make a relationship beautiful, but to simply go after the money. And even as I'm saying this, some of you guys are going to feel angry at me. Some of you guys may feel tempted to call me whatever it is, a pick me, or be angry, or rise up in your spirit and say, but what about men? Listen, you are being trained based on what you're consistently feeding your mind to desensitize yourself towards human beings.
I agree with that. And I would even flip it and say for you guys that are kind of sifting through the space and watching other videos, you guys got to be very mindful and careful as to the content creators that you guys are watching. Okay, in every space, there's going to be absolutists. There's going to be extremists. And, you know, for me specifically, I try to be mindful of the types of videos and content that I create. Okay, I try to leave some examples of good women, okay? Because let's be clear, there are good women out here, very few and far between, but at least you guys have an example of what that would look like. Okay, when you're talking about the Sprinkle lady, which is the dating coach that she's referring to in this video, she doesn't have any examples of good men.
And because you have that hatred, because you are desensitized, that's when you go out and start to use men like how a prostitute would. What does a prostitute do? A prostitute sells her body in exchange for money, for material gifts. When you are dating a man or with a man, not because you care about him, not because you love him, but simply because of the lifestyle he can provide for you, your heart isn't in it. Your head isn't in it. You are a prostitute. And you are being groomed. We are being groomed. They're attempting to groom us into being prostitutes. Now listen, this is not me telling you to marry a financially irresponsible man, because I do believe that men have responsibilities and duties towards women that they are courting, that they're dating and wanting to, marry. A man has a responsibility to. In fact, men have many responsibilities towards the women that they say they want to be with, okay, that they want to marry. All right. So definitely you should be entertaining husband-minded men who have proven to you, okay, through their consistency that they have good character, that they're good men all around, not just in the financial area, but all around. Now, once a man has actually proven to you, okay, that he's a good man, that he cares about you, that he loves you, why wouldn't you want to love that man back? You really have to sit down, and we as a whole have to sit down and ask ourselves realistically, what do I want out of a relationship? What do I want out of a marriage? Do I want somebody just for the lifestyle that they can provide me with? Or do I actually want love? Do I want love and to be loved? Think about the people in your life that you love. Think about your mom who you love. Think about your brothers or whoever it is that you love in your life. Is that not a wonderful and beautiful relationship? And why wouldn't you want to have that with somebody that you are joining yourself to for the rest of your life? This is not a game. Many of these women are leading you down a terrible path and leading you towards terrible relationships and situations under the guise of, oh, sprinkle, oh, fine, hypergamy, whatever. Terrible situations. Ask yourself what is important to you. I'm not saying that financial irresponsibility is okay. Not at all. Okay? But that shouldn't be the only thing that you're seeking. You need somebody with character. Be very careful about these people that you're listening to. Don't get so bitter and hardened in your heart towards men, towards people, that you fail to see them as human beings and fail to see the fact that there are, in fact, good men. There are. And some of you might get mad at that statement, but that just proves that there's something in you that needs to, there's a lie that needs to be uprooted from your mind. If you believe that all men are trash, all men are terrible, it's because you have taken on poisonous teachings, poisonous thoughts, and they might not even be your thoughts. They might be thoughts that have been planted in you by social media, by people that are constantly ragging about men, talking about bitterness, and you might have taken on somebody else's bitterness. So you need to be very, very careful, because when you start to make these broad-minded statements like all men are this, all women are this, all black people are this, all white people are this, you know that there's a root of bitterness in your heart that needs to be uprooted.
All right, guys, so there you have it, okay? She's spitting facts here. These fake female dating coaches, they don't care about their audience, right? They don't care about women finding happiness, finding love, a companion, finding a good man. They don't really care, okay? It's more profitable to have these women in their feelings, okay? Have them bitter. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out some of these comments. First commenter says, personally, I feel sad that this isn't even common knowledge to most people, especially women. All right, so next commenter says, I'm not Christian, but I agree with this message. Next commenter says, well articulated and spoken. Next commenter says, in sprinkle, I will forever believe. All right, guys, so there you have it. Of course, the sisterhood was upset. Okay, they were frustrated that one of their own has betrayed them. Okay, they have seen the light and escaped the plantation of bitterness. Okay, now you got modern women calling her a pygmy. Take a look.
So I have to come on here and respond to this comment. And this comment and this attitude is part of the reason why I made my original video. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that first. But sis, who says that you have to give it up at all? Why is the only option either giving it up for free or giving it up to a man who buys you things and pays for you to go places and gives you money? Because last time I checked, giving it up to a man because he gets you a bag or the bag or pays for you or gives you money or gifts, that's called prostitution. There's a third option. The third option is give it up, as you say, to a man who's made a real commitment to you by making you his wife. Because that right there means more than just a trip or a bag. Do you know why? Because to many of these men that do these things, giving you money, giving you a couple of dollars, taking you out to a nice restaurant is literally nothing.
Yeah, it's so fascinating that modern women think a hot meal is the pinnacle of success. Okay, now, you know, if I'm not even gonna say that. I'm just thinking if I really wanted to be an asshole, I would buy 10 fake Birkin bags and just hand them out. You want this Birkin bag? Yeah, give up the cheeks. Let me go ahead and clap these cheeks for this Birkin bag. Before they know that it's fake, I'm long gone.
It means very little. To them, it's just change. So they're spending their change in exchange for your body. And your body is priceless. Your virtue is priceless. So whatever dollar amount you're giving it up for is ultimately too cheap a price. You give it up for money and you are cheap, and you have cheapened yourself. You are worth more than that. And it's so sad that this toxic content that we are consistently consuming has warped so many of our minds so badly that we genuinely believe that there are no good men and that there is no man out there willing to love us and wife us without us first giving something. Let me tell you something, and you might not believe it now, but I pray that one day you will. There is a man out there that will love you and marry you and make you his wife without expecting you to give it up first.
This is going to go through one ear and out the next. They're not going to take this in because it doesn't fit the narrative of the echo chamber that they're stuck in.
There are men that can wait. There are men that can wait for you. And another thing is, you can take yourself on that trip. You can take yourself to that restaurant. You can make money. You can get a job. You can do something in order to take yourself out so that you don't have to sleep with somebody to get that experience. If you learn to actually spoil yourself every now and then, every once in a while, you won't think that it's such a big enough deal to sleep with him when he takes you to a nice restaurant or he travels or flies you out. If you learn to do some of these things for yourself, you'll see that it's nice, yes, but not nice enough to give my body to somebody for. So yeah, all the best.
All right, guys, so there you have it, okay? She is spitting facts in this video. And to address the last part here, you know, that's pretty much women being held accountable, okay? Modern women being held accountable. As we know, modern women don't like that, okay? They don't like when their feet is being held to the fire, okay? That's when the conversation falls apart and the shaming tactics are deployed, okay? They are going to try to gaslight you into thinking that you're the problem, okay? You have a woman here in this video that wants to respect herself. She wants to respect her body, but these modern women are going to gaslight her into thinking that she's the problem, okay? Something is wrong with her because she wants to respect herself, okay? Truly fascinating. But let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and provide me some feedback. And until next time.